Hello and welcome to the Healing Ceilings interviews, where we interview artists and inspire others to live life beautifully. Join us on this Healing Ceilings movement. Hello and welcome to the artist interview today. Today we are interviewing Lena Baumgartner, and thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us today, Lena.
No worries, anytime.
So Lena and I actually, when we first met, her artistic style, her painting style has actually changed quite dramatically over this time. And I'd love to hear more about it. Like, how did you start painting? What has your process been? And why is it that you changed your style?
Yeah, so let's go back to 2016. I had my first son then. Wasn't in a creative job at all. I was actually I had taken maternity leave from the job that I was in, very much desk job in an aviation industry, and then I got gifted time with maternity leave to explore creativity, really, and something that I loved doing as a child. So I started doing what I liked doing, which was sewing. I started sewing pot plant covers because I was obsessed with indoor plants at the time. I couldn't find fabric that I would love, and I was very new to textile, so I didn't know that you can buy amazing cool fabrics online that are already from other artists. So in my head I thought I better go get some canvas and paint on the canvas to make pretty colors that I would love. And that's where it all started. So I painted on canvas, I would cut it up, sew it into pot plant covers, and the thought of even painting an artwork didn't even cross my mind until a couple of years later through the business. I think it was just before COVID hit. The little brick and mortar shop that I had the pot plant covers stocked with, she was just going to close anyway, so it was kind of like timing with lease. And my husband said, why don't you paint on a canvas? Why don't you just do it for fun?
Yeah, wow.
And I don't think I ever looked back. Like, I really, really enjoy it. Like you said, when I first started, my style was very different. I really enjoyed structure. I really enjoyed doing, keeping in between the lines, kind of like coloring in. A little bit like abstract landscape, I would call it, with like organic flowers flowing through it.
Yeah.
Very much inspired by garden weeds, like from our backyard. And then it just eventuated from there. And I was like, you know what, I feel like I need to let go and embrace the mess, like make it messy. And that coincidentally happened the same time as my second son was around. So, two kids, messy.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And that phase of young kids and being able to create around them, I know that it's busy being mum, but there is this freedom to create and even get them involved in that creativity as well. So wonderful. It's a special time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is nice, and it's a nice bonding experience. Like, I wish I did it more with Hewan, like my first son, and let him, as I was very much like, oh no, it's easy to maintain with one child, the mess, like, he can color in and then it's easy to clean up, but with two, you just really have to let go and let them go nuts. And I wish I did it more with Hewan, but with Arden, and you can tell in his personality, he'll see color and canvas and he's like, let me go at it. He's very expressive, very creative, and Hewan's a little bit more reserved, but yeah, it's definitely come out in Arden.
Oh my goodness, the kids, they're so funny. Some of my kids are like, yeah, when I grow up, I want to be an artist. I'm like, hang on, we were always told, no, you should never be an artist when you grow up. It's so funny that we're on this journey now. And the kids are now seeing that that's actually something you can do.
Yes, 100%. However, I did see a meme the other day that said, I didn't want to work 9 to 5, so I quit my job, but now I work 24/7.
I hear you. I hear that meme. Yes, I understand.
That comes with being an artist, I think, 24/7, nonstop. But it is so much fun. Like, definitely brings so much more joy than your other regular 9 to 5 jobs.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know about you, but I think about it, dream about it, always switched on. Like, just even going for a walk or a hike, I'm like thinking about the next idea.
Yes, 100%. Like, you see life in color.
Oh, it is. It's wonderful.
In a different way.
So wonderful. Yeah. I mean, there are stresses that come with being an artist. Do you have any that's come to mind for yourself?
Stresses I'm in quite fortunate position that I can just like have the time to create and explore. So yeah, I'm very grateful for that. My biggest stress is time management. Like, because the kids are young and I'm at home with them, I tend to paint a lot at night, obviously, and do a lot of, all the other stuff at night. Like, I would plan my marketing content, everything at night. So my biggest stress is just time management and not doing it at a normal person's time hour.
I hear
like
you.
I definitely, yeah, and if I have an event on, like, so Sala's coming up, I don't know when the last time I went to sleep properly, like early before 10:30.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I totally understand that. Yes. And I think actually I recently came across this graph where it showed different famous artists and when they created, and so many of them were at night. And I actually wondered after that, I thought, is it because the busyness of the day quietens and there's no other buzzy noise in the background? Is that why we decide, or is it just because we've done so much in the day and it's our only time? Like, what is
well, honestly, I think it's a bit of both, really. Like, it's a beautiful feeling to sit at night, late at night, by yourself and have all this quietness to yourself, and just like you're really processing everything that's in your mind at night. And it comes a lot of the time, the feelings, the emotions, it all comes out on the canvas. And I think that's the coolest thing about painting at night is I always say to my husband, during the day, it's so busy. I look forward to dreaming. But when I say dreaming, I mean painting. Like, I look forward to dreaming through my paint to see what comes out. And I think for him as well, and like everyone else in the family, that's the coolest thing about me painting at night, is that they go to sleep and then they wake up, they're like, oh, yeah, that's different. What was that about?
Oh, that's so cool. That's so great. And obviously all your family are very supportive of this journey that you're on, this colorful journey that you're on.
Yeah, I've been very lucky with that they've been really supportive. Like, I think, actually, go back to that question of the biggest stress is, obviously yourself, and the expectations that you have on yourself. Like, I was very much career driven. And so for me to say, I'm just gonna go color in, I'm gonna be an artist now. That's pretty big. So it's nice to have people in your family support that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then so Lena, I wanted to ask you, so then in regards to Healing Ceilings, and obviously being on our team, you're such a vibrant and bubbly person and your art reflects that. What is it about Healing Ceilings that made you want to be on team as an artist?
Yeah. Well, I guess, why not, really? Like, I found Healing Ceiling through another artist, Pi Williams.
Yeah.
And I kind of asked her about it, and I was like, what a brilliant creative idea. Like, it's a really good movement, really. I mean, I've been very lucky in my life to not have to spend a stint in hospital. But having said that, there's so many other places that you do spend time looking up at the ceiling, like a dentist practice, or going to a doctor as a female to get a pap smear done, or just something that's very, like day to day, you don't think about it. And how good would it be to look up and have a distraction,
I love that.
Get you out of your head and out of like just the annoyance of whatever you're doing right there. Like, being at the dentist is not fun. So having something nice to look at would be really cool. And I just thought it was such a good idea and movement. Like, it really has something behind it. And I think we should all get behind it because it's beautiful, really.
Oh, I love that you're on board. It's so great. I feel so humbled all the time by everybody that's on board. Oh man, and I think too, like there's so many moments there where patients, I often am hearing this word quite often, that positive distraction, and even some of the research that I'm finding that art has this way that it can positively impact our mindset and our mental wellness.
Yes, 100%, definitely. I've found that. Like, I didn't come from an art background, and the only reason that I really started going down this creative journey was because I practiced yoga, and before I had kids, I was like, I'm always at yoga. That was my time to zone out, get out of my head. And obviously, leaving the house to do a practice like that is difficult when you have kids.
Yeah.
So I just had to find another outlet. And creativity and color, something about it gives you that mindfulness. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I mean, I never noticed this. So with my brain surgery journey in the background, I remember one of the first doctor's rooms that I went into was a private room. And I remember sitting there and the doctor was running late, but so late, like an hour late. But being private, you kind of imagine, okay, it's going to be 10 minutes and you're in. Yes. And so at this point, I had my diagnosis, but I didn't know what the diagnosis meant. I knew I had needed surgery, but I didn't know what. And I was so stressed out. My husband, poor husband, he was pacing the room. He couldn't. It was just too much. But I remember sitting there and there was this artwork on the wall and I got absolutely lost in it. And I know that in the moment, I didn't know that was what I was doing, but I was searching something in there to take me away from the stress I was feeling in that moment. And I was like looking at the little people and looking at little roads and making stories in my head and like trying to switch off the reason that I was there. And there's so much power in it, doesn't it?
Yes, definitely. It's very incredible like that, because you're like trying to find a story to relate to that piece and try to feel like what emotions are coming up in this. So definitely it's really good distraction.
In regard to your own practice, how can people find you?
Most people find me through social media, so Instagram. Like I think I have to be very active on social media and very active on Instagram. Like you'll see my daily stories of my artwork from the night before. They're not always on the correct timeline, but more or less within the week.
Yes,
which is pretty good. Yeah, so mainly through social media on Instagram. I do have a Facebook account and a website, and like I reply to emails as well. So a lot of people send through emails if they're overseas.
And so then what is the profile name for your Instagram account?
Yeah, so it's Lena_B and then _arts. Okay. I had someone ask me, why didn't you just go Lena_Baumgartner? And I was like, well, that requires everyone to learn how to spell that last name. I had to learn how to spell that last name. So we'll keep it simple, just Lena_B_art.
All right, so we know you as Lena B.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and then your website, is it the same?
It's lenabart.com.
Okay. Do you have a hot tip or something that creatives can take away or a lesson that you've learned that you think would be beneficial?
The hot tip would be, I think it's worked for me, and I've shared it with a few other friends, and it's worked for them as well. So I buy my canvas in a frame set. So then when I unscrew it or paint, if I'm on the edge of, is this painting finished? Is it not? I always chuck it into the frame, and I just do a frame test. Literally, I screw it back on, put it onto my gallery wall, so it's on a white background, and then I just sit with it for a couple of days to see if it's finished or not. And that's how I know. Most of the times I have a feeling and I know it's finished, but other times when I'm unsure, I just do a frame test. So that's my biggest tip. I don't know, it works for me, it's worked for a few other people. The other thing that I would say is, don't be scared to use the colors that make you feel vulnerable. Like I've done that this whole year. Purple is my color of vulnerability. And I always found that when I use those colors, they're probably my most favorite artwork pieces. I resonate with them, and for some reason people connected with them a lot more as well. So don't be afraid to tap into that space.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And actually I can vouch for the frame thing, because I've been doing that too. I realized, I think both of our styles are quite a lot of color in a space. It's not particularly an image. So I find the frame just holds it together, and it just, that's where you can figure out.
It just gives it that final touch that's right. I think it just breaks up the messiness, or finishes the messiness off. Yeah. And then it just kind of goes, oh yeah, actually I really like it.
Well, Lena, it's been so great chatting today, and I look forward to further chats in the future. And for anyone that has been watching this and listening to this, go follow Lena, go see her works, they're amazing. And we'll speak soon. If you would like to hear more from us at Healing Ceilings, then head to our website, healingceilings.com.au, or our social media, which is Healing Ceilings Australia. You will find us there. LinkedIn, you can look for me, Claire Rackley, and I will direct you to wherever you'd like to go. But we want to make connections, so follow us, like us, tag our things. Let's continue this Healing Ceilings movement.